Here's how I'm adding over $40,000 to my net worth by doing one small mortgage change that you can do too. So we're gonna go to the whiteboard and break down how I am gonna increase my net worth by $43,000 after tax dollars, okay? So starting off with my current interest rate, it's at 5.64%, locked into a higher rate a few years back. I'm gonna be getting a new rate of 3.65%. The term of the mortgage was 3 years originally. There's 13 months remaining in that term. The amortization is 23 years and 1 month remaining. We're going to be extending that back out to 30 years. I'm going to explain why shortly. Also, my current mortgage payment is $19.68.84. It's going to drop to $14.18 after all of the changes, which I'll explain shortly. In terms of the cost to break the current mortgage, it's going to be penalties. The penalties were calculated to be about $4,300. That is 3 months of interest. Then, of course, is discharge, legal fees, etc., etc. That's estimated to be about $1,400. So in total, the cost is going to be $5,700. But there was a cashback offer happening with the lender in which we got back $1,100. So the total cost, when you include the cashback rebate that we get, is closer towards $4,600. This amount is not going to be paid out of pocket. I'm actually going to add it to the mortgage. I'll explain why shortly as well. But I don't want this cost to come out of pocket. Instead, I want to add it to my mortgage. So my mortgage balance is going to go up by $4,600. Now, here are the results. So if I was to keep everything the same and hold this current mortgage for the remaining 13 months, I would have to spend $19,700 on interest. The equity pay down would be $7,900. My monthly payment rounded would be about $1,969. But with this new mortgage, including adding this amount to the total mortgage, we can see that the amount of interest that I pay is only $12,150 because of this lower rate. Even with the longer amortization, and even with adding this amount there, the amount of interest I pay over the remaining 13 months is still much less. When it comes to equity pay down, a little bit less equity pay down, about $6,290. Still okay. And when it comes to the payment, this is where we see a major change. The monthly payment drops down to $1,418, which is a savings of $551 a month. So as you can see, the interest that we save is $7,550 over 13 months. That is already more than the cost of doing this transition here, okay? And as an added bonus, we get that monthly payment savings. So with this monthly payment savings, I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to invest this money because otherwise I would have continued to pay this amount every single month. So with this new mortgage payment, this difference is going to be invested. Let's say that I put $551 in my TFSA, okay, so it can be able to grow interest free. The returns are going to be 8%. I'm going to add in this difference for 13 months, which is the remainder of the term, okay? So in total, that's going to be about $7,163 in extra contribution to my TFSA. If I invest that at 8% over 23 years, the estimated balance is going to be $43,000 in my portfolio. All of that came from this one quick change, leading to interest savings that are far outweighing the cost of the penalties, and also payment savings, which I'm going to be responsible and invest it in the long term in my TFSA, leading to, again, $43,000 after tax savings. Other bonuses as to why I want to do this is that, as I mentioned, this is going to lead to more cash flow. More cash flow just gives me more ability to invest. Also, we're living in a condo right now. This is not our forever home. Because the condo market's slower, chances are we're going to rent this property out. So the longer the amortization, the more tax deductions that we get. We're able to write off interest, but we're not able to write off principal pay down once we eventually rent this property out. And also better qualification, because if we're going to continue to hold this condo and we're going to buy another property in the future, we want to make sure that we can minimize the mortgage payment so that this current property is actually beneficial to our qualification, which If we kept the mortgage payment the same, it would impact the qualification negatively. So now, because we're generating more cash flow, it's going to lead to better qualification for our next purchase. Now, this is just a high-level overview of the math and the breakdown of our decision making. That's why it's so important to work with a qualified mortgage agent who is willing to go above and beyond and look at your portfolio holistically. If you're ready to chat about mortgage strategy, feel free to book a free financing call with me through the link in my bio.